Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, on this one, what we did is we went out to the 2025 250R, no, TRX 250R Takeover Winchester Bay. And there wound up being 105 250Rs there, so that was pretty exciting. Mostly four-wheelers. There were a few, well, not a few, there was probably, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 30 three-wheelers, and the rest of them be four-wheelers. Um, Anything from bone stock, just pulled it out of the garage, to completely custom. There was a drag three-wheeler, had a big old wheelie bar on the back. I was riding my buddy's 250R thing. I don't think had been ran in a few years. He went through the carburetor, it was leaking. We took it out there, we fired it up, went out of the parking lot. Had to put a plug in it immediately. Put a plug in, rode around for a while, and then it finally fouled that plug. You know, you had to keep it revved. You know, if you let it bog at all, it'd be brr, brr, brr. Well, it got to a point where it didn't want to do anymore. I couldn't get it to clean out. Stopped. It's like, man, how many more plugs you got? So we threw another plug in it. Ran the rest of the day. Went with a different heat setting on the plug. It was actually one of the ones they had for the Banshees, and it ran better. It still needs work. It needs to be jetted, I think. But for a bike that's been sitting around forever, you know, Hondas are hard to kill. So we missed the first event. You'll see when I start showing you clips that the event was about to take off. When we put the plug in mine, we had like just enough time to get to the event and go. And one of the Banshees started acting up. So that made us late. So we didn't get to go on the ride in the beginning with the machines. And you'll see, I think I caught some of them off in the distance, but you see how much of the sand's torn up, you know, when you got that many machines going. That would have been neat to go on, but you know, it was our first time there. Machines that had been sitting around weren't really tested and know that they're ready to go. We had a Tri-Z three-wheeler, two Banshees, and the 250R. One Banshee had just been all gone through, so it was good to go. The Tri-Z didn't have any problems. And then that one Banshee had issues, so we missed the first ride. Then we went out and did some riding, and you know, got it running a little bit better. Went out and did some riding, and then we wound up having to take it back to the truck and went out for another ride. We had the Razor with us, so my buddy got in the Razor and we went riding, and then the guy that was riding the Banshee that acted up was riding on the Tri-Z, and the Tri-Z was going up a hill, and I guess he power wheelied it right over on top of himself, burned his leg and stuff. You know, those three-wheelers, it don't take much to do a wheelie on those when you got power. So then when we wound up going back, that was right around the time that the lunch and the meet and greet and the photos and all that was going to be. So I thought we were all going over there. Me and Brian went over there, and then we're like, "Where's Dave?" And since I had the 250R, I went ahead and put that in the dill. Brian went to see what was going on with Dave. They were over there trying to work on the Banshee, getting it going. So they missed that part of the event. They had raffles. They had free lunch. It was hot dog lunch, free. Pretty cool little deal. Real casual. Just there'd be some shots in here where I'm wearing a a chest camera for the day. That's why you'll see, you know, when I'm riding and stuff, you're looking at handlebars part of the time and stuff. I don't have a mount on my helmet. I need to get one of those apparently, but anyway, you'll see some neat machines just when I was walking around. I'll just show you the clips of what I was doing when I was waiting. And for the raffles, I bought some raffle tickets, try to win some stuff for my buddy's machine. You know, there's some of the stuff you could have won that would work for my 400EX, but you know, it's mainly all 250R stuff. So if I won something, I would have given it to him for his machine to help him out. But I figure if I don't win, it helps the event. So I didn't win. I very seldom win. And there's a guy standing right next to me that won 3 of the trophies. And it turns out at the end of the day when we were leaving, my buddy's like, oh, we got to stop by so-and-so's camp and, you know, say hi and all that. Turns out that was the guy. And he didn't even realize that he was over at the thing, or he would have been over there at the trophy part of it. Anyway, so he was over trying to work on getting the Banshee going. Once that was over and I got the 250R out of there, I went over and we hung out over there, and a Banshee buddy stopped by and he was playing with it for a while, and he got going a little, and there'll be a couple shots of I took that when they were running back and forth on the dunes. It was the 2 Banshees and the 250R, and he got it going. It was doing all right, but it was kind of, you know, he's kind of a perfectionist. He got it going, but it'll kind of fall on its face when you get in the high gears. He said it pulled through 4th, but when you go into 5th and you get up in the higher end, it just kind of fall on its face. Play with it a little more, and we just called it on that. Tried a few things. You know, they ran to town. They got new hoses. There was a fuel leak on one of the hoses. So, oh, that's it. Anyway, so later on we went out. We were still messing with trying to get that going. We went out and did just some riding around, and then came across the drags that the event was doing at the end of the day. Somewhere they were doing a barrel race, but I never found where that was. But I think it'd be worth going again. So next year for the event, my buddy that has all these machines, he has some 250R 3-wheelers also. So he says he'll get those out next year, and we'll get all those Hondas running good and have more people on Hondas going to the Honda event. That would make a lot more sense. Anyway, so we'll try that next year. And so you'll see some shots of me walking around. You'll see me pointing out where they go. And then there was some drag racing, and I did some drag racing. Well, all 3 of us did some drag racing. And I don't know what was wrong with me. I switched with the Brian that was riding the Banshee. I said, oh, let's try that. You try the 250R. And I got on that, and I instinctively started out in 2nd gear. And as soon as I took off in that, I go, what have I been doing? On the 250R, I've been starting in 1st. Whenever I drag race on my 400, I'm always in 2nd. So I tried that, and it does a lot better. But you couldn't tell in any of those videos. I did win a couple of, but not very many. But that was good. And then we just moseyed back to camp, loaded up, headed home. But it was a trip worth making. And like I say, I would definitely do it again. So it was TRX250R Takeover, Winchester Bay, Oregon, 2025. They've been doing it for years. They do a couple other locations too, I guess. But definitely worth going. So I'll get going and show you the rest of these. Hope you enjoy. And maybe we'll see you next year at the 250R Takeover, or at the UTV Takeover. We went to Coos Bay to the UTV Takeover, and I almost went to the Winchester Bay one, but there was things going on, and I was working on my truck and trying to get stuff done around the house. You know, excuses. Anyway, we'll get going on this, and hope you enjoy. Yep.
took off and went right up there. You can see where it is. You guys are way over there. So fix some Yamaha and then we're going to go see if we can catch them. Do this and let it see the machines. Wanting all the 250s lined up for a photo?
Yeah, we're doing a photo here in a sec.
Alright, well I got
the flags down, please. My way up, I charged this a long time ago. They keep their charge.
Alright, got a bunch of machines here. Lining up. They got a raffle going. You buy raffle tickets over there. Win a bunch of different things. They're doing a little show and shine contest. There are some beautiful machines here. I think that one over there might be a little bit popped up.
Like a good enough table.
Huh? Yeah, how come the one's not built into it?
You have a billet one, huh?
Yeah.
Polished out billet one.
Put it on the list.
Smoke that one. You have like 5 different racks.
There's one I'm riding. They're racing.